This is the Main Event Marks podcast, brought to you by the Unhinged Sports Network. I am your first host, the man who always throws stones at men with machine guns. I am Troy, and with me as always is the WWE Walking Wrestling Encyclopedia and the Main Event Collector. He has come to chew bubblegum and kick ass, but he's still got a whole pack of bubblegum. He is the Chris Harris to my James Storm. He's Greg. What's up, man?
It's bubblicious.
Oh, you don't have Bazooka Joe?
Hell no. I mean, I do. That stuff sucks. Bubblicious.
It does.
The watermelon kind.
Ah, yes. Good choice. Yeah. I don't know why we're starting off talking about...
you did.
I know. I always get us off on these weird trails to start the podcast off. But, well, getting off of the bubblegum topic, we're getting on to total nonstop action in the year 2006.
Yeah, this fucks TNA.
Yes, not T&A, TNA. I specified. Wow, we had to specify that on Twitter before because somebody was talking about. Well, they were excited to talk about TNA, and I was like, yes, trust me, it's wrestling. Okay, you may not believe it, but yes, it's professional wrestling.
Bro,
yeah,
it's funny, bro.
Today we're talking about their anniversary show, man. It was their 5-year anniversary. They were formed in 2001, I believe, yeah. In the wreckage of what was WCW, we have TNA.
I want to say June 2002 was their first show.
Okay, I stand corrected. 2002. They started as a pay-per-view only company. They did weekly pay-per-view shows, which was a weird ass model, especially for 2002. And I don't think they made a whole lot of money doing it, but clearly they made some money, or they weren't hemorrhaging money. I don't know, but it's one of the two. But it was enough to keep them afloat, and then I think they were going to go under if they kept it up, and then they got Dixie Carter coming in with Panda Energy, and, well, as they say, the rest is history.
It's still going.
Yes. Yeah, it is. It has nobody from the original administration there. It is, I don't know, does Anthem still run that thing?
I don't know.
Yeah, because I know Anthem Entertainment came in at one point, and they bought in. I think that they still own it. Don Callis books for them, along with Scott
Don Callis
D'Amore.
is actually done.
Is he?
So, yeah.
Wow. So what does that mean for... What does that mean for AEW with him?
I don't know. So apparently he's done with Impact. So
wow. So it's just Scott D'Amore now.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, Scott D'Amore was there. He's on this show actually, quote unquote wrestling. So
sure.
Yeah, there's that. But we've covered a few TNA shows.
I like Scott D'Amore, by the way, just for the record.
He looks like I talked about this on, I want to say, Lockdown 2006. I talked about with Jimmy Pilato. He reminded me in 2006 of the kid from that did the Truffle Shuffle in the Goonies, all grown up.
That's his illegitimate kid. I didn't know that. He's a child.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Wait, what?
No, it's not.
Oh, yeah. Wow. I was going to say, it's either him or I said the kid from It, all grown up, like the fat kid from It, all grown up. But he's one of them. Either way, he was in an 80s movie. But, yeah, so we're going to be talking about all that today. If you want to go back and keep up with TNA in 2006, we've done previous reviews, Destination X, Lockdown. I want to say there was one more. You can check all the archives out there now. But today we're getting into Slammiversary, which is one of their 2 biggest shows of the year. But first we're going to get into the news and notes of that time period. But before we do, I want to let you all know that we are sponsored by Fubo TV and Fanatics. If you're looking to cut the cord like I did, you're going to want to switch to Fubo TV. And if you want your favorite sports teams gear, because, well, we're officially in June now. I'm not privy to, I don't keep up with the NBA schedule, whereas you do. Yeah, the playoffs are still going on, right?
They're still round 2.
Okay, just making sure. So you get your favorite NBA team gear, whether they're in the playoffs or not. You know, they cover all the other sports as well, and NASCAR. See, I did it for you. I got it in this week. But they cover all of that. And not even the professional sports, they cover NCAA as well. So click on the links down to the podcast description. Let them know that the Unhinged Sports Network and the Main Event Marks sent you. We'll be right back right after this break. Follow the Main Event Marks at Facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector. Get all the best podcast swag from the Main Event Marks. Our merch shop offers custom graphics, including the podcast logo, on hats, shirts, masks, greeting cards, and more. There are tons of new designs with more dropping all the time. Just head on over to redbubble.com/people/Main Event Marks to grab your podcast merch today and become an official Main Event Mark. That's redbubble.com/people/Main Event Marks. The Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Now back to the show. All right, news and notes time. Getting into, I guess this is the quote-unquote top story of the time. WWE has made the decision to bring back ECW full-time. The plan was said to be finalized in the last week or so. They'll likely capitalize off the ECW One Night Stand 2 hype and go from there. WWE officials have begun talking to former talent about returning to work for the promotion. They are not looking to add a third day to their television schedule, however, so it's believed that it will be a mix of both former ECW wrestlers and new WWE developmental workers who have been working house shows under Paul Heyman. Dave Meltzer reports that it would likely be handled similar to the Super Astros deal of the late 90s, with weekly matches taped either before or after Raw or SmackDown tapings. Well, that's a lot to unpack there, but I think it wasn't it recorded the same day as SmackDown?
No, it was live and SmackDown was recorded after it.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, because was it Tuesday or Wednesday that it took place? I forget.
Tuesday.
Now. Tuesday, okay. Yeah, good old WWE CW, man.
Yeah. It was something.
Yeah. I love that, like,
I was torn on it because, first of all, ECW sucks, period.
Wow.
Second of all, it's just a developmental show at the end.
Yeah. They kept the name ECW towards the end, and I was like, why are you still calling the show ECW? Because, like you said, it was a developmental show. They gave it the same set as every other show. They changed the belt. They changed
Championship.
Everything. No, that was a belt. And they changed everything. The top guys were Christian and Jack Swagger.
Don't forget Ezekiel Jackson and John Morrison was their champion too. So
yeah,
worth noting.
Yeah, Ezekiel Jackson was their last champion. For God's sake. Christian and Jack Swagger, by the way, both of whom are in AEW right now. So that's something. Furthering on with that, WWE contacted Gangrel, Luna Vachon, and Midian about being a part of a vampire group in ECW. At this point, it doesn't appear that Midian will be rehired.
Or naked.
What if he was a naked vampire?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I had my money.
Not just a vampire, but a naked vampire. Like, man, that gives a whole new meaning to "I want to suck your blood."
Oh my God.
Come on. I had to get something inappropriate in there. Yeah, man. WWE have added Trinity, Kelly, and Roadkill to the ECW.com roster page and have updated Balls Mahoney, Jazz, Rob Van Dam, Sabu, The Sandman, Taz, Tommy Dreamer, and Tony Mamaluke.
I feel like Kelly debuted on ECW, so...
Yeah, I think so. Was she part of the Diva Search?
I don't think so.
I can't remember where she popped up.
In a magazine, and Lauren Unitas saw her? I don't know.
Hey, boss, look at this one. She's really nice and tan. just like you. Not quite as
Don't
damn
worry,
low.
she's quite legal.
She's legal, and God dang it, look at those pecs. I mean, they're not as vascular as yours, though. Want some oil? All right.
The hell?
I'm sorry. All right. I'm gonna keep it moving. I don't think Jazz stuck around very long in ECW.
Probably for a show or two.
Yeah. Balls Mahoney was there for a while. RVD and Sabu were there for a while. Sandman.
Speaking of Kelly, yes, Balls was there for a while.
Wow.
They did that whole thing with them too, remember?
I remember they did like a strip poker game. It had
he was like in love with her, and he was trying to get her from Mike Knox. And
that seems like every storyline with her ever in ECW. Yeah.
She left Santa Claus, or dropped Santa Claus to keep Mike Knox. So there's that.
To keep Nux.
Good Lord.
Oh man. Axel Rotten was scheduled for a physical prior to being a part of the ECW angle on the June 5th Raw.
Don't tell me he'd gotten hepatitis or something.
No, that's Ian. But Rotten had missed previously scheduled physicals. That's not a good sign.
He's no longer with us, so I'm not going to make jokes.
Yeah, I mean, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he overdosed on heroin. So, yeah, that kind of tells you what you need to know about his physicals. Oh, man.
I mean, yeah, I don't know what the hell they were going to do with him. I mean, they're not going to let him tape his fists with glass and punch people in WWE, are they? So.
Yeah, and he can't just carry around a chair all the time with people's names spray painted on him.
Again, this is the product that people defend when I crap on it.
Yep. Oh, I know. We've gotten some people that say they prefer our reviews of them because they hate ECW, and then we have other people that are like, I don't know why you guys are even bothering to review it. All you do is crap on it. Like, yes, that's why we're reviewing it.
Well, go and listen to all of our, many of our reviews. We crap on every single bad show. I don't just do ECW.
Right, yeah, go back and listen to us for cover Road Wild 99.
It's just a coincidence that every ECW show happens to be bad. But,
and we try to find the good in the shows. There are a few segments that will complement,
usually anything with RVD or Jerry Lynn,
Lance Storm, yeah. So there you go. According to TV Central, I'm not sure what that is, but either way,
sounds made up like a show on The Simpsons or something, but okay.
Right. WWE Raw is the 25th most recorded show via TiVo, which is one of the most 2006 things I've ever said. UFC's The Ultimate Fighter is number 20 on the list, by the way.
Which is coming back this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. It's weird to think about in the business model of UFC. That was one of the things that made their popularity explode in the early 2000s.
Yeah. Some of the seasons are really good, too. Some not so much.
Me and my dad used to watch that back in the day. I saw the season where Rampage destroyed the door. So
yeah. That's the one Dana White said, if the Ultimate Fighter is guilty of anything, it's showing how cheap I am with doors.
Yeah, I know he's a badass, but if that was a good door, he would not have been able to tear that thing apart like it was paper mache.
Yeah.
Good grief. Then the season with Diego Sanchez?
That was the very first one.
Okay, yeah, I saw that one, and Forrest Griffin's season, and all that. So, and whatever one that was where it was Misha Tate and Ronda Rousey, where Ronda made me really dislike her in that season.
She's got that a way about her.
Yeah, right. She's got that face that you just want to kick. I don't know, which Holly Holm did, but either way.
And it was glorious.
On SmackDown, Batista returned to WWE action this past week when he teamed with World Heavyweight Champion Rey Mysterio, defeating King Booker and Mark Henry. After the match, Batista grabbed Rey Mysterio's championship, took a long, hard look at it, and then handed it back to Rey. Do you remember that?
I do.
I know you were we talked about this previously, where he said, I'm back, and you're like, he's not. He's still hurt. They rushed him out there.
That was was WrestleMania, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah, No Way Out 2006. That was it. No Way Out 2006. Yeah, you and I covered that. Now in the archives. I think that was the one. Yeah, and
well, spoiler: Ray would lose it to Booker T. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and was it Batista that beat Booker?
Yeah, the Survivor Series.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, over on Raw, for the first time since the Attitude Era kicked off, the original D-Generation X is back. Shawn Michaels and Triple H were brought back together by the common cause of wreaking havoc on Mr. McMahon, and DX was reborn. The Defiant duo disposed of the Spirit Squad on Raw, and after a few...
Spirit Squad. Good Lord.
And after a few emphatic double crotch chops, Triple H capped off the night by mooning the chairman. Cool.
Yep. Here, Dad, here's my ass.
Right. This is what I show to your daughter every night.
And you went there.
Yep. I made it worse. The things I remember from this era of DX was there were a lot of faces being shoved in asses. There was poop dropped on the Spirit Squad, and they said that Vince McMahon loves... well, we're talking about a chicken, I guess.
It was the South Carolina Gamecock. I don't know what it's literally a mascot. What are you talking about?
Yeah, right. And then Triple H cosplayed as Vince McMahon while Shawn was Shane, and they came out.
That was great.
And Triple H said, I don't love cock, I love dick. Dick Cheney, Dick Ebersol, I love dick. I'm like, really? And they had...
this is what he gets Wrestling God earlier in the month.
Yeah, right. Well, this was... you know, I didn't even think about it till now. We give Jurassic Express a lot of crap, me included, for having the stunt kid with them. You know, before them, DX had Hornswoggle as their little, mascot, I guess?
Okay, that was way later than this, but Hornswoggle actually means something to wrestling, though. Stunt is just an idiot.
How dare you, Greg? He does... he flips around and flops around. He does the floss dance like he's 6. I don't know. Anyway.
He likes Fortnite. I get it.
I'm sure he does. Oh, man. We mentioned him earlier, but...
Hornswoggle's a friend. Okay, I'll let you know. We have some fake deals together, so I'm going to be biased. I'm going to be real.
Yeah, there you go. And did he send you something packed in Postal peanuts?
No. I just sold him a few things.
Oh, okay.
But I sent them in Postal peanuts.
Oh, awesome. There you go. I wonder if he, pulled everything out of the box and then dove in it. Like Cannonball style. Anyway.
He probably did. Actually, now I think about it, they were for his son, but, whatever.
Regardless. We were talking about this guy earlier. Jake Hager, a heavyweight wrestler from the University of Oklahoma, recently had a tryout with WWE and is being considered for a developmental deal. Spoiler, he'd get hired.
And be world champion one day.
Yeah. And now he's currently in AEW. Look, man, I can't remember. I think it was him and the rest of the inner circle that were cutting a promo before Blood and Guts. And I can't remember if it was you or somebody else. Yeah, I think you were one of the people I told this to. I was like, look, Jake Hager should never speak ever. He's got that, Mike Tyson effect to him. Where it's he's big, intimidating looking, he's strong.
He's even got a lisp, too.
I know.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying, you said Tyson. It's wow, hit the nail on the head with that one.
Yeah, I was just whoa. Well, Pioneer Press has a story on Brock Lesnar's lawsuit with the WWE being settled. It's featured in the entertainment section alongside news of Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise. I don't know why I thought that was a funny aside.
Sounds like a companion piece. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Katie Holmes, Tom Cruise, and Brock Lesnar. Speaking of Lesnar, he will be defending the IWGP title on the May 3rd show in, I'm going to mess this up, Fukuoka, Japan, against the winner of the ongoing New Japan Cup tournament.
could have literally just said Japan.
Yeah, either way. I wanted to get specific with it, damn it. But
Damn it.
yeah, so he's
Specific.
just God dang it, just say the land of the rising sun. Nobody gives a damn.
Nobody cares about Japanese wrestlers, bro.
Whoa, Brock Lesnar's wrestling in Japan, bro? Nobody cares.
Oh man, real statement from that idiot, by the way.
Yeah. For anybody that doesn't know, this was during the time where Brock was like, whatever, I don't have to wrestle ever again. I'm going to go be a Viking. And he tried out, he was on the practice squad for the Minnesota Vikings, which, I mean, good for him for even getting to the practice squad, but, I mean, he got cut before preseason. And then he was like, well, I got to make money somehow, so going to sue WWE so I can go to Japan. And, well, he won something. But he went over there and he started wearing red, he started wearing, like, red and white attire, and he called the F5 the Verdict.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah, that was something. But anyway, the July 2nd Eddie Guerrero tribute show in Denver, the story doesn't say who's running the show, by the way, has El Hijo del Santo versus Blue Demon Jr. on top, plus Chavo Sr., Mondo, and Hector Guerrero versus Rey Bucanero, Atlantis, and Rey Mysterio Sr. So I'm going to assume that the Guerreros were helping to put this thing on, especially if all three of them are wrestling in the year 2006.
Yeah, news is light, huh?
I kind of squeezed that in there because I wanted to just, you think about, like, Eddie Guerrero hasn't been gone for that long at this time. When was it was it earlier this year he passed away?
November 2005.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so late in 2005. This was a rough time, man. The cast of the next season of The Surreal Life on VH1 will feature the Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, yeah.
I don't think that ever happens.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's like, I don't remember hearing about that. I don't think this happened. That would have been hilarious, though.
Did they replace him with China?
I'm going to assume so. What a replacement for the Macho Man, huh? Look, not to speak ill of the dead, but seriously. Nikolai Volkov, who's running for a seat in the Maryland State Assembly, real statement, has enlisted the help of his former tag team partner, the Iron Sheik, to campaign for him. Again, real statement.
Yeah.
What the hell? Maryland, #1. America, hot toy. Like, I can't imagine. That dude, going to that campaign event would have been the best. It would have just been balls, like, off the wall crazy.
Oh man, I just hear him swearing now.
Whatever his opponent's name was. I break his back, F him in the ass, and make him humble.
Unless he was from Russia, and they're also #1 with Iran, remember?
Yeah, right. Iran,
Russia #1.
Yeah, Russia #1. Maryland #1. Hakatui, America.
Someone didn't tell him that Maryland is in America, did they?
Yeah, he doesn't give an F. He's the Iron Sheik. Gives no Fs. Oh, man. Speaking of somebody who doesn't give an F, Vampiro was hospitalized this past week with a herniated disc in his neck, which was cutting off a nerve. Vampiro's undergoing therapy in an attempt to avoid surgery. He's hopeful that the Wrestling Society X project gets off the ground.
Good lord, I forgot about that crap.
As he recently extended his contract with them through July 7th. Keep in mind, we're in early June. He extended his contract to July. So they're real hopeful about this thing.
At least one more show.
Yeah. Hey, can we get one more taping in? We'll record a whole month. Good lord.
I remember watching the very first episode of that and like vomiting.
I tuned in because I saw the people that I was like, oh, Vampiro, X-Pac, Teddy Hart's on this thing. All right, I'll tune in. And I'm like, what the F is going on?
Well, Teddy Hart, man, I got my money.
Yeah, you remember because the thing was, him and Jack Evans were both in Wrestling Society X. However, they weren't teamed together. Teddy Hart was teaming with M-Dog 20 or Matt Cross, whatever the hell you want to call him. They were the Filth and the Fury. Yeah. So I remember everything exploded in their little venue thing.
Every single show, by the way.
Yep. I think Vic Grimes was there too, if I remember correctly.
Oh man.
Got my money. And
why was this a thing? Like, who greenlit this?
MTV? I don't know. Because I remember the whole point of this was like before Lucha Underground was even a thought, by the way, for anybody out there. It was on MTV, and it was a thing where it was supposed to be like an underground Fight Club wrestling organization thing. And every effing thing exploded, which kind of, like, look, if you're an underground society, it's a special club, why are you having things explode in your building?
Because when you're underground, you want to draw attention to yourself. What do you not get about this?
Yeah, right. Yeah, my bad. Good Lord. This was the first place, however, I did see Judas Macias. Because I was like, who is this guy? And the next thing I know, he's popping up at TNA. I'm like, whoa, it's that guy. Dude, their casket exploded. You remember that?
I do remember that.
I think Vampiro got...
Wasn't New Jack on there, too?
No. No, he wasn't in that one.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't in that.
I'm just depressed that there was no Jim Cornette podcast when this was airing, man.
Oh my gosh, I know. Like, I want Brian Last to dig up old episodes and make him go back and watch them in retrospect. I remember there was one episode they couldn't air because a fireball went into Vampiro's face, and something about they said it was too violent or whatever. I'm like, things literally explode every week on your show, but that's too violent?
You gotta have a cutoff, dude.
Yeah, well, they have standards at MTV, Greg.
Yeah, this is the same channel that greenlit Jersey Shore, so.
Oh, for God's sake. Was it them or VH1?
I'm pretty sure it was them.
Yeah, okay. I always get them confused. They both have crap.
Talking about, dude. VH1 has behind the music.
Do they still do that?
Stuff. I don't know. I was going
to say, when they did do that, they did good stuff. Now, I don't know. And I think they used to have Pants Off, Dance Off.
Oh my God.
With Jodie Sweetin. Which, yes, I did watch, only because she was dancing in the corner of the screen the entire time. So, but either way, moving on.
Does not make it acceptable.
Former WWE and TNA superstar Sean Waltman, a.k.a. X-Pac, Six-Pac, whatever, has signed a contract extension with Wrestling Society X through July 7th. There's still no word regarding the future of the
They're locking him down, huh?
Yeah. Well, we want to make sure we got you for the next month, dude. All right? We don't want you popping up on Raw. That would be like Luger showing up on Nitro.
Holy crap.
What's he doing here? He doesn't work here anymore.
He's part of Wrestling Society X. What the hell? That's the competition.
He's coming in from MTV. What's going on? I can't even say it with a straight face. All right, something a little more serious here. Spike TV.
I thought we were serious. What the hell?
Spike TV will be airing a special called The Women of Spike on July 27th at 9 p.m. Eastern. The show will feature Gail Kim and Christy Hemme, but not Tracy Brooks. Rachel Lay, whatever, of the UFC will also be featured. Do you know who the hell that is?
I do not.
Probably a ring girl, I would assume. Or octagon girl.
I have to be, because they didn't have women back then, so.
Yeah. This was during the time where Dana was still saying that the women fighting was, it was never going to be in his organization. Never going to happen. And then he bought out Strikeforce, saw Ronda Rousey's drawing power, and was like, you know what? Never mind what I just said. Way to stick to your guns there, Dana.
Good, money talks.
Yeah, it does.
It's not the first one, it won't be the last one.
Nope. Puma was a part of the Wrestling Society X tapings, but he has signed with TNA.
Good Lord, how much more WSX crap is there?
that was the final story.
Jeez, I didn't know you'd be heavy on that crap. I would have prepared. I don't even have a vomit bag on me.
You would have done heavy research for this one.
No,
I
when
didn't
said
warn
prepare,
you.
I meant prepare like physically to barf, but
Oh, come on. They had exploding caskets, fireballs, and people jumping off of fire escapes. I mean, it was good stuff, man.
all on
Either way.
MTV. That should tell you right there.
MTV, which was frequently known for quality programming. But either way,
Dude, go with me on this, dude. WSX hosts the new Singled Out. Oh man, I would watch that.
what the hell? Puma, by the way, is TJP, TJ Perkins, whatever the hell. It was one of his first masked gimmicks. But anyway, that is all I got for news and notes. Not a whole lot of big stuff going on. Just, I like how we talked about WWE, ECW, and Wrestling Society X. Good stuff here.
Like, not to be a spoiler, but let's just be honest. I'm going to be honest right now. This pay-per-view, so much better than all that crap, at least. So.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, this, for anybody that's like, oh, LOL, TNA, I mean, there's some good stuff on the show, which we'll get into. But we're going to take our next break here. Before we do, I want to let everybody know to subscribe and leave a 5-star review. That is, if you're listening on the podcast feed. And if you're not listening on the podcast feed, you can look us up. We're available anywhere you get podcasts and on YouTube. So,
and if you're listening in Japan, you can give us 7 stars, by the way.
Yeah, use that special Uncle Dave feature, and it'll hook you up. And if you are not listening on the podcast, or if you are listening on the podcast feed and you want to hear us live, we play every Wednesday on the Unhinged Sports Network at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That is unhingedsn.airtime.pro. We have another replay of that show, airs right after that one ends. So if you missed some of it, you can catch it again right afterwards. And we play the exact same time the very next night. We're going to take our next break. We come back. It's Slammiversary. Follow the Main Event Marks at facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. My name is Thomas, and what's your name?
I'm Alan.
Alan.
Oh, yeah. We're brothers.
That's right.
Yeah.
Forgot
The
that.
same mother and father.
Your room was...
We share the room.
Shared a room.
We
Right.
share the room.
Thought I knew your face.
Yeah,
from
we go
somewhere.
way back, mate. Yeah.
We should do a podcast then.
We have.
We do a podcast.
We do a podcast.
What's it called?
The
Broadcast.
Yeah, that was planned.
Yeah, well.
What do we do?
Well, we cover all different things in the world of pop culture. We're talking about comic books, we're talking about professional wrestling, and we're talking about movies. Go back and watch classic retro wrestling events, the likes of WWE, WCW, and if you do like that, you can check us out on Apple iTunes, also on Podbean, Anchor, and on Podknife. Also check us out on Twitter at The Broadcast. That's BROKAST. There. Nearly stuffed up the ending.
Hey, it's all right. Good on you.
Yeah. Instagram also at The Broadcast Podcast.
Remember, we don't spell it with a C. We spell it with a K.
Sorry, mate.
Take it easy.
The Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Now back to the show. All right, we are back for TNA Slammiversary 2006. It took place June 18th, 2006. The tagline, "This is the one."
Yeah.
I
I don't understand it.
I never understood any of TNA's taglines ever. None of them made sense.
When I hear like "this is the one" in pro wrestling, I'm thinking like a huge dream match.
Yeah. And it's like, what do you mean this is the one? Like, you mean the event? I assume they mean the whole event, but it's like, the one what?
Billy Gunn.
Yeah, that's it. And the thing was, this isn't supposed to be their big yearly tentpole event. I mean, it's one of them. But this would be like their SummerSlam, would you say? Like
yeah.
in terms of importance?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Bound for Glory was supposed to be their WrestleMania show. But, I don't know. At different times, it seemed like it flip-flopped. This took place at the TNA Impact Zone in Orlando, Florida. The attendance was a sold-out 900. Not joking. And the buy rate...
Well, hold on. There's no sales there, so...
Yeah,
those tickets
okay,
are
so...
free.
A packed-out 900? Yeah, so I guess you can't say a sold-out 900. It's a... We got him hanging from the rafters here at the Sound Studio. 900 people.
You mean the rafter?
Yeah, the one. That same one that AJ Styles hung on to at Lockdown. Now in the archives, by the way. The pay-per-view buy rate for this one was between 30 to 35,000 buys. There's no exact number. I got into an argument with somebody about this before where they were like, well, look at these terrible numbers. I'm like, these are estimated, right? They're not publicly traded, so they don't have to divulge this information to the public. So,
no, but his uncle told him so.
No, well, yeah. Uncle you-know-who. The opening package for this pay-per-view really plays up the King of the Mountain match and all the men in it. I kind of like the match type, but it was very convoluted, and we'll get into that when the match comes around. But the show officially starts with Team 3D beating up the James Gang from the backstage all the way to the ring. It is Team 3D, Brother Ray and Brother Devon, versus the James Gang of BG and Kip James. This is labeled a Tag Team Bingo Hall Brawl.
First of all, it's what Jim Cornette calls a jump start. And second, Bingo Hall Brawl. Bingo Hall Brawl really got me.
Yeah.
Clearly, we know what they meant. Okay, it's not
yeah.
But
yep.
Why couldn't it just be a street fight?
I don't know. Why did they think it sounds... Was this Russo's way of taking a dig at the Dudleys?
See, that's what I was going to say, too. That's one of my first notes here. I'm like, by calling it Bingo Hall Brawl, they're just going with everything or every criticism ever of the, quote, ECW arena. And I use that term loosely because it's not an arena. But they call it a bingo hall. I don't know if it really was. But
it was at one point, yeah.
Okay, well, then, yeah. Now, to be fair, I didn't think of Russo doing it to take a dig at him, but I'm like, wow, you guys couldn't have hit this a little bit better?
Yeah,
they real stupid.
Yeah, that was the insult about the ECW arena it was a bingo hall. Now they're like, oh, this is a bingo hall brawl. Like, just the name alone sounds stupid, and you're showcasing this on pay-per-view. Between two legitimate teams, by the way. This went just shy of 10.5 minutes. By the way, I didn't know this until I was doing some research. Do you know the Dudley Boys debuted in the WWF against the New Age Outlaws?
I did, yeah.
And they broke Billy Gunn's arm.
That part I did not know.
Yeah, hell of a way to debut.
But I mean, I knew it because for some reason it popped up in my YouTube recommended videos the other day.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so that's a cool little footnote here. But the bell rings before anyone even gets in the ring, which was weird. And the four men go right for chairs and kendo sticks. BG and Devon battle into LAX's commentary area, which I forgot existed. This
was at the height of the immigration stuff that was going on, if anyone doesn't remember.
Yeah, George Bush was still president, so that was a thing. But this, they had their own little, the Spanish commentary area. It was, I believe at this time it was Hector Guerrero and Conan, and they had their own little.
And Homicide just looked like the muscle, which I find funny because he was the smallest dude in the group.
You're right. It was him and Hernandez sitting in front of the booth with their arms crossed, and they graffitied the booth. So it looked like, and they had their own little separate entrance next to it.
And for future reference, when I say the real LAX, this is the LAX I mean. Just felt that was necessary to say.
This was the longest tenured LAX, I'll say that.
And the best.
Oh, yeah. Well, before this, you had Machete and there was Apollo for a heartbeat. So, yeah, this is the good one.
Literally forgot all about Apollo.
Yeah, most people did. But anyway, BG and Devon battle into their commentary area, and LAX beats them both up because, you on the wrong side of town, vato.
Beating up all the gringos and Devon.
Oh my gosh. Can I get away with saying that? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not going to touch that.
They got beat up by Hernandez.
I don't see anything offensive about it personally, but that's me.
Yeah, they got beat up by Hernandez and Little Joker. And I'm sorry. But this match is kind of
Hernandez is still in Impact, by the way. Worth pointing out. In 2021.
Looking hella cholo.
Yep.
But this match is kind of crap.
But he still looks really good, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
Still looks like you can rip a dude apart.
Tear a phone book in half. The Dudley Boys did this crap all the time back in ECW, battling through the crowd and all this garbage. Mike Tenay even mentions their bingo hall days, which, by the way, drew bigger crowds than what they're currently wrestling in front of. I had to point that out. Kip gets busted open by a cheese grater by Bubba, or Brother Ray, whatever the hell. I love how he's able to kick out of a doomsday device, by the way. That kind of took a dump on that. However, Team 3D finally pins Kip after a 3D through a table. Uncle Dave gave this 3 1/4 stars. I gave it 2.5. I wasn't that impressed. What say you?
Look, as a street fight, bingo hall, brawl, whatever. I gotta admit, I liked it. I thought I might be with Uncle Dave on this one. I said 3.
Wow.
I thought it was really fun.
It was okay, but I'm just like, I get reminded of every ECW match the Dudleys had. Brawl through the crowd, pull out the cheese grater, put somebody through a table.
There's that, but I don't know. I just, on its surface, I had fun watching it.
Yeah. And
it wasn't a masterpiece by any means, by the way, but.
No. And I felt like, I don't know why, the Outlaws did this kind of stuff in WWF sometimes, like hardcore matches, but they just felt out of place to me doing all this. I don't know why.
Because the Outlaws were used to performing in arenas and not bingo halls, so, it's going to hamper their performance a little bit.
Yeah.
You got to make way for that, dude.
Yeah. Great on a curve. Good grief. Brother Ray grabs a mic after the match and says, "You know damn well that's how it should be done." To which I was like, what should be done? Because, no?
That's how that should be done.
Sure.
Little known fact, by the way, the Impact Zone probably had a lot more air conditioning than the bingo hall. But
I would not doubt that whatsoever.
I just love pointing that out when people say it was like a miserable hot box in there.
Yeah, they said it was a crap hole. I guess they've since renovated it, but
they have, and apparently it's really like, I don't know if the word nice, but apparently it's
nicer.
Yeah.
I think now
let's say mildly presentable.
Because at one point they changed the name to Viking Hall. I can't remember. There was some reason for that. Somebody who bought it, and now I think it's just called The Arena. So I don't know. I think
they actually call it The Arena and then whatever the address is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, most people just shorten it. They just call it The Arena, and you know what they're talking about. But either way, to the back, Jeremy Borash and Jeff Jarrett. Jeff puts himself over.
Can I just say, by the way, I love Jeremy Borash. He's very underrated as an announcer.
Yeah, he's good, and he's underrated as a behind-the-scenes talent as well. Even, Bruce Pritchard put him over huge. Said he's the hardest working man that nobody recognizes in the business.
He really made me care about matches when he did in-reason stuff. So.
Yeah, he was always good. It's funny that he's one of Russo's boys that they hired in from WCW. But either way, Jeff puts himself over, saying that he's overachieved wherever he goes. He compares himself to Joe Montana, Reggie Jackson, and Michael Jordan. Yikes. Larry
like, man, when you're naming trios, man, that's a hell of a trio, and I do think Jeff Jarrett with them. So
when I think Jeff Jarrett, I think either way.
Look, I'm going to pass this off as you should think highly of yourself. I don't care if you suck. You should think like that. But man,
well, and he's a heel.
Don't say it all though.
Yeah, I mean, I excuse it because he's a heel playing up being a heel. So whatever, it is what it is. But Larry Zbyszko interrupts to tell Jeff, quote, "The new face of TNA is exactly who you thought it was, and it doesn't look good," end quote. Well, that has multiple meanings. Jarrett says...
Well, I think he's a handsome man, but whatever.
Yeah. Jarrett says Larry's messed up over and over, and now it's Jeff's turn to fix it. Sure. But before the next match, we get a badass promo package to the song Fly Over Vox by Nicholas Nolan. They always dug up these obscure, underground bands or singers or whatever. They had some pretty damn good songs they put to promos. So, I don't know. At least that's my opinion, going back and watching these. Mike Tenay then says, put down the Twinkie, D'Amore. It's time to fry some Canadian bacon. What the F? And again, I've got to point out, he's sitting next to a guy that's fatter than D'Amore. So just got to point that out.
Have you ever noticed, like, not just here, but like in the world, when you talk, you can, if you make fun, if you say something bad about, black people, Mexican people, Asian people, it's racist. And I agree. It is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But if you take a pot shot at Canada, it's perfectly fine. Have you ever noticed that? Like, seriously.
Maybe that's because it's not a race, it's just a country. I don't know.
You didn't watch NXT, so I'm just going to say this. They're talking about the North American title, okay? Bronson Reed has it. And he's like, he's from Australia. And Santos Escobar comes out and says, well, I'm from Mexico, which is actually part of North America. So that title should be mine. And then Joaquin Wilder, TNA fans might know as DJZ, he says, he whispers in his ear, and then Santos says, yeah, Canada doesn't count.
Good grief.
Like, seriously, why is it no matter anything on this planet that happens racist, you can take pot shots at Canada? That's fine.
Because it's Canada. I mean, come on.
Get
it. It's Canada. They're not going to say a damn word about it. So it's America's hat, Greg.
Yeah, right.
AKA Mexico North. That's what Scott Steiner called it.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, Scott D'Amore grabs a mic before the match to say that this may be a handicap match, but he could handle Rhino all by himself. And it's time for Bobby Roode to stand by and witness D'Amore catch his catch can brilliance. Sure.
I don't know why this whole thing made me bust up, dude. Oh, man. Like, my notes for this whole thing just say LOL.
Wow. Well, this match is a handicap match. It is Bobby Roode and Scott D'Amore of Team Canada taking on Rhino in 11 minutes. As soon as Rhino's theme music hits, D'Amore takes off up the ramp and doesn't come back until Rhino's held back. Bobby Roode is wearing his fancy robes to the ring at this point. He's starting to look like what would become Robert Roode coming up. I was surprised that D'Amore actually wrestled a bit in this one, but only after Bobby wore Rhino down. In the end, D'Amore smacks Rhino in the back with the hockey stick. He can't lift him up for a Death Valley driver, so Rhino gores him, and then gets a win. Uncle Dave gave this 2.25 stars. I just gave it 2. Let's say you.
I gave it 2. I had fun watching this. I think D'Amore is actually a legit trainer too, right? So
yeah, he is. Apparently, he's really good.
It's not like he's a waste or anything, but
no, yeah.
But clearly, he should just be training.
Yeah, I think he figured out he was better backstage and as a manager and, all the non-in-ring stuff. So.
And now that I think about it, he may be the longest tenured Impact person ever. I don't think he's ever left.
Yeah. I can't remember. Did he go off to do that GFW thing with Jeff Jarrett?
It was always still intertwined though, so I counted as he stayed.
Okay, because I thought, they broke away at one point, and then they
did break away, but then they were doing talent loans, so
yeah, weird. Yeah. That whole thing.
To think though, that means we're talking 19 years. D'Amore's been there. That's crazy.
Nuts. Yeah, right. Hey, whatever, man. If you're making a paycheck, good for you. But we go to the back.
I know no one watches it, LOL TNA, but it's not terrible. Now it's not that great, but it's not like the worst piece of crap on the planet. I'll say that.
Do they still have 0 fans in the audience?
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of wrestlers, but yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well, AEW, WWE, and Ring of Honor all just announced fans are coming back, so I'd imagine they're coming back too.
Nice. When we go to the back again with Jeremy Borash and Samoa Joe, Joe lets us know that he's not intimidated by Scott Steiner, who's facing later tonight. I wonder what Steiner thinks of Joe's weight.
He's fat! I'll make him bleed.
But up next, right after that, we get a 6-way elimination match. It is Senshi a.k.a. Low-Key, versus Shark Boy, versus P. Williams, versus Jay Lethal, versus Alex Shelley, versus Sanjay Dutt. This went about 19 and a half minutes. Real quick, funny story about Low-Key. It popped in my head. You remember when he was cosplaying?
I call him Cabal. Sorry.
Good Lord. Said no one ever.
All right, I'm done.
You remember when he was cosplaying as the Hitman for the video games?
Yeah.
Okay, well, he first started doing that in Japan, I think in the Tokyo Dome. And I can't remember who was telling the story. They said, okay, imagine this. He comes in the locker room dressed like that. He pulls out this suitcase, opens it up, pulls out two, handguns. They were fake, but they looked real. He just pulls out two handguns and lays them down, and people are like, what the F?
Wow.
Apparently they were for his entrance, but yeah. He's like,
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah. Oh, man. He's a weird dude, man. I'll just say that. Plenty of funny stories about him online.
That's a shoot voice, by the way. It's not a working voice.
I know. Man, that thing could, crumble
swear,
mountains.
I always thought it was like he was turning it up or something, or or maybe turning it down, whatever. No, that's his voice.
Just like the Macho Man. I thought that was fake for years,
Right.
but nope, he talks that way. But anyway, you get into the match. Only 2 men are allowed in the ring at one time, and everyone has to be eliminated for there to be a winner. So there's that. All 6 men get involved in a single vertical suplex in the center of the ring at one point. That was pretty cool looking. You'd all have to see it. They all tied up in the vertical suplex spot, and then, yeah. Anyway, Shark Boy is first eliminated when he misses a top rope elbow drop on Sanjay Dutt.
That's when I turned it off because I was mad and my guy lost.
How dare you beat Sharky? But then Sanjay hits a standing shooting star press and pins him. Shelley's out next when Lethal gets the knees up on a senton attempt and then hits Shelley with an overhead dragon suplex for the pinfall. So that's 2 people in a row who missed the top rope move and then got pinned. After Lethal misses a top rope elbow drop, P.D. Williams hits him with a Canadian Destroyer for the next elimination. So I just started laughing at this point because that was a thing. And next, Sanjay hits a standing sliced bread on P.D. and then Senshi hits Warrior's Way on P.D. to eliminate him. Finally, Senshi hits a shotgun drop kick on Sanjay and then does the stomp to Sanjay, who's in the Tree of Woe for the win. Kind of Alberto Del Rio style, if anybody remembers that. But anyway, Senshi gets the win. Uncle Dave gave it 3 1/4 stars. I gave it an even 3. What did you give it?
I gave it 3 as well. Loved it.
Good,
also,
fast-paced
one of my
action.
notes on here is, man, I forgot how good Sanjay Dutt is. He's so underrated.
Yeah, he was really good.
I mean, nothing particular in this match. I'm just saying on the whole. But
right, yeah. I liked his nickname, the Playa from the Himalaya.
Oh, it's the original
funny.
Playa.
Oh, yeah.
Himalaya. Yeah, because there was multiple. So
yeah, there's more than one. I hated when he became the Guru because I felt like that was
racist.
Yeah, it's so you guys have to go more stereotypical. Why? And then he was going around taking a collection in his tambourine. I'm like, what the hell? He's not a preacher.
Well, I mean, that's not specifically for preachers, to be fair.
Yeah, I guess so. But he should have dressed like Mike Myers in that horrible movie. No?
I don't know what you're talking about, honestly.
You never heard of him in that Mike Myers in that movie, The Guru?
No, it sounds like something I'm glad I missed.
Yeah, it was horrible. I think it won a bunch of Razzies. It was god awful. Anyway, but to the back yet again with Jeremy Borash, Kevin Nash, and Alex Shelley. Shelley makes some comedic excuses for his loss, and then he tells Nash that he's excited to celebrate his win with him later tonight. Nash mentions that it's Father's Day, and he has a special message for Walt Sabin back in Hell, Michigan. I'm like, what the hell? Hell, Michigan, by the way, is a real place, and that's where they always build Sabin from, but still. Nash says that he's not
Which is why they said Hail Sabin in his theme, by the way.
Is that really why they... No.
That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true, but...
All
I
right.
mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. Nash says that he's not paying for Sabin's doctor bills or disability after tonight because Sabin asked for this. He finishes by saying that size matters. Sure. In the build-up package for this match, we see that on the previous Impact, Nash wrestled a quote-unquote match against a little person in a mask, saying, quote, "You've got lifts in your shoes, but I know that's you, Sabin." So effed up.
Oh, man. This is, I forget if they showed it in the package, but this is the era where Kevin Nash is telling everybody he invented the X Division.
Yeah, and he kept throwing up the X with his arms.
Yeah, he's like, I used to do all that high-flying stuff. I created it all. That's why my knees are weak.
Yeah, and he said something about he was going to do a triple backflip, three-handle family credenza through the table or some crap like that. And, yeah, it was just stupid. It was funny, but it was stupid. But all right, this was Kevin Nash versus Chris Sabin. The match went 8 minutes, 20 seconds. Nash is coming out to my favorite TNA theme of his, which was just an instrumental of Kashmir by Led Zeppelin. Someone's got a sign in the crowd that says, "Kevin Nash, ow my quad."
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Look, he would have went out there and smacked that guy, but you know, his quad blew out too early.
Well,
Anyway.
he had a high-flying match to get to as well.
Yeah. Nash broke out all 5 moves of doom for this one, by the way. Alex Shelley comes
And I
down.
counted 3 hair flips, by the way.
And he didn't even have any hair to flip in this one. So yeah, it's that phantom hair. But Alex Shelley comes down to assist Nash. He gets involved constantly, eventually yanking Sabin off the top rope, allowing Nash to hit the jackknife powerbomb for the win. Uncle Dave and I both gave it dose stars. What say you?
I gave it 2, but I also said it was a really, really fun match.
It was interesting. I could have done without so much interference from Shelley. I thought it was a little much, but I get it, I guess. And the Paparazzi Productions thing that they're getting to is fun. So I dug it. I'm always down for whatever Kevin Nash is serving up, so there's that. But we go to the back again with Jeremy Borash standing by with America's Most Wanted and Gail Kim, who's looking all kinds of Roll Tide. She is all the way live here. They put over tonight is the last chance for AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels for the NWA World Tag Team titles. And the thing is, Gail Kim keeps interfering in their matches, so that's the
She interfered the previous month when she was in a shark cage.
Yeah.
That was insane.
You know, the old thing is, like, a shark cage has literally never stopped anyone ever from interfering in a match. Ever. They just, like, why do the gimmick? It doesn't work. But the build-up package for the next match shows how much Gail Kim has interfered in the matches of AMW versus Daniels and Styles, costing Styles and Daniels every single time. Here we are. It's America's Most Wanted of Chris Harris and James Storm. With Gail Kim in their corner, they're defending the NWA World Tag Team titles against AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels. It's their last chance, baby. And it went just over 17 and a half minutes. On America's Most Wanted's way to the ring, Harris shouts at Don West, forcing him to say, "Happy Father's Day, Wildcats Dad." I like how it's just like so damn random.
He said it so damn sarcastically too.
I know.
Happy Father's Day, Chris Harris's dad.
Yeah, because he pulled like a Bailey on Michael Cole. Because he just like goes out like out of nowhere. He's like, "Say Happy Father's Day to my dad." Like, wait, what? By the way, I know I've told you this before, everybody out there. It took me forever, and I don't know why, to realize his nickname is the Wildcat, and he's from Kentucky. The Kentucky Wildcats.
Yeah.
There you go. I was like, okay. Got it. But getting back to this, Gail Kim keeps getting involved until Styles and Daniels pull her into the ring. Just then, a rather large woman runs in and beats Kim up before throwing her over her shoulder and walking back to the locker room with her. Why did it take this woman so damn long to help?
They said it on commentary. They found her.
Yeah, because it's like she just came out of frickin' nowhere, and I'm like, okay. But getting back to the match, AMW uses a chair and brass knuckles, but still can't put the baby faces away. There are a ton of near falls. In the end, James Storm accidentally smashes a beer bottle over the back of Chris Harris's head. Daniels hits the Uranagi. Styles hits Harris with a frog splash, and Daniels pins him for the win, and they win the titles, and the crowd goes banana. Uncle Dave, he gave it 3 3/4 stars. What the hell shaved off the quarter star? I gave it an even 4. What do you say?
I gave it 4. This was the match of the night.
Same here. This was really good.
Yeah.
I
love this match.
I heard other people crapping on it because there was weapons and shenanigans and whatever, but I don't know. I thought it added to it. I liked it. These 4 guys can damn near do no wrong. So
I think when people talk about greatest tag teams, it's a shame when they leave off America's Most Wanted, by the way.
It is. Yeah, I know. And it's because they were only together for a few years in the early days of TNA. And then they got replaced by Beer Money, and Chris Harris went off to do
which, oddly enough, was even better. But
yeah, they were really damn good. I know. And Styles and Daniels, man, what a freaking team.
There's, not to jump way ahead, but there's a match they have with LAX at Bound for Glory in a cage.
Yeah.
It's one of my absolute favorite matches. It's later this year, actually. Yeah. It's freaking amazing.
I think that one's on our schedule in October, but I'll have to double check. If it's not, I may have to adjust things. So.
Yeah, it was a really good pay-per-view.
Bound for Glory usually is. Because wasn't that the one with Sting's in the main event, right? Not to spoil anything. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that is on our schedule. So we'll get to that later on in the year. I'm really looking forward to that one, actually, because I do remember some of that event. For one of the first times in TNA history, by the way, they actually allow the new champions to have time to celebrate. They don't cut away and go to the back.
Go in the crowd and everything. I thought that was pretty cool.
I know, yeah. They go to the rowdy crowd. They hold up their newly won titles. Good times had by all. But after we get time to soak that all in.
And how they ended the pay-per-view right here. Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. We now go to the back again with Jeremy Borash standing by with Sting. They point out that this is Sting's first NWA World Heavyweight title match in TNA history. Sting says that...
The first one since 1992, right?
I believe so. I can't remember exactly when they dropped the name from the big gold, but yeah. But Sting says that his motives tonight are to win the NWA title and to prevent Jeff Jarrett from winning and gaining power. So he is multitasking. Now we go to this. One thing I can never criticize TNA for is their video packages. They may not have been quite as epic and memorable as WWE's, but they were damn good, especially for the time. We get another one here.
That voiceover guy was great. Let's not forget. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, these ones that were basically just glorified music videos, they were always good. They picked out some cool songs. This one is like the biggest moments in TNA's history to the song Fighter by Cradle Fuse.
I think it's Candle Fuse.
Candle Fuse, yes. Or, no. Well, yeah? I don't know. Might have been a typo on my end, because I wrote down Cradle Fuse, so you are probably correct. That makes
Can you say that
sense.
Again?
That is correct.
I was hoping we'd get that in this week.
Yeah. And we did. Got it in there. All right, speaking of getting it in there, Mike Tenay's in the ring now. I don't know what that had to do with the lead-in.
Yeah, it was weird, but...
he's saying that he's
to each his own, dude. Whatever you do, you.
He's the professor of tapping that ass. Anyway, he's saying that he's going to introduce the new public face of TNA. Because we need a public face, the private face of TNA. We don't need to introduce them. He says we may remember this man as one of the greatest managers of all time. He puts over the man's time in backstage in WCW and WWE, as well as running his own promotion on 2 different occasions. When Mike finally announces the new public face of TNA is Jim Cornette, some weird-ass, marching band music plays, and a ton of pyro goes off on the stage. I'm like, the F is this?
One of my first notes on is did you notice he lost his cane when he was spinning it?
Yeah. Cornette, who just had knee surgery, comes out twirling his cane that he legitimately needed to walk with, and he's twirling it, and it flies out of his hand, so then he gingerly slides his way down the ramp at half the speed of smell. Oh, man. But Corny finally gets on the mic, and he does his damn thing, putting TNA over super strong style. Larry Zbyszko's shown backstage watching this, and he's clearly happy. However, Mike Tenay gets on commentary and claims he can't be happy about this. Really? Because he's like smiling and like, yeah, good for him. I'm like, what you're saying doesn't match up with what I'm seeing. Either way. Cornette
More on that later.
Yeah. Cornette puts everyone on the roster on notice, saying that if anyone crosses him or doesn't produce in the ring, they'll be handed their walking papers. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, on Impact after this, there's a moment where Jim Cornette is talking to LAX. Do you remember this?
No.
He has the whole roster come out. Tells LAX they're going to start wrestling, and if they don't want to wrestle here, Jiffy Lube is hiring.
Holy crap. Oh, man. I don't know if I can laugh at that. Well, it's...
Just thought it was worth mentioning because, that's Jim Cornette. It's the guy that said the Ethiopia chicken joke, or what we said on NWA TV.
Yeah, said something about Trevor Murdoch was so tough, he'd ride a motorcycle through Ethiopia with a bucket of KFC strapped to his back. I'm like, what the frick? I don't even know what that means.
I don't even know what that means. I mean, I guess it was... I mean, I'm not saying it's okay to say, but I'm still wrapping my brain around, like, okay, I guess it was offensive, but what did I miss? Because
it's weird.
It's hard to piece together. I don't get it.
It's like, I don't understand the meaning, but I'm going to go with racist. Well, this was the same guy when he went to Ring of Honor. At the time they were doing a storyline where CZW invaded, and the Necro Butcher.
Lord.
Yeah, well, the Necro Butcher was one of them, and Jim Cornette came out and he said, "Necro Butcher, glad to see you got the night off from your other job as a jizz mopper at the porno theater." That one I popped for. I got to give him that one. I mean, come on.
That's not corny, right? Because that's not racist. That's just gross.
Well, no. Yeah, no, that's not racist. That's just F.
That couldn't have been corny then.
Well, that's corny something. But in the back again, Jeremy Borash.
Also, a Necro Butcher sucks. Just want to put that out there. Sorry.
He's in that discussion for worst wrestler of all time. But anyway, in the back again, Jeremy Borash is standing by with Scott Steiner. Steiner says that Samoa Joe is fat, and his name is Sloppy Joe. Well, thank you for pointing that out there, Scott. I don't have eyes. I couldn't see. But he says
he's a Samoan and he's fat. Really?
He also calls him a half-breed. I'm like, is he?
I don't get that. I thought he was just Samoan. I mean, first of all, you shouldn't say that crap, but
no, that's effed up. Speaking of racism. Yeah, I thought
is it because he's like legitimately Samoan and American? Is that what he means? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if he is half Samoan and half. I think he's because he said, well, he shouldn't be calling himself Samoa Joe because he's half breed. I'm like, first of all, why are you the gatekeeper over who can be Samoan? Second of all,
I believe his degree from Michigan says that. So.
Yeah, right. He majored in Samoan studies.
I think he just made that up.
Maybe. But he says he's beaten them all, including Triple H and John Cena. He then puts over Samoa.
No.
Yeah. He then puts over Joe's DVD, Unstoppable, saying it's unsellable. That one was kind of funny.
I have that DVD, so screw him.
As do I. But all right, now we get Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner taking on Samoa Joe in 13 minutes and 4 seconds. The undefeated Samoa Joe is the X Division champion here, but he is not defending the title tonight. I will say, Steiner didn't blow me away in this match, but I felt he looked way better in this match than he did in anything he did in WWE. Like, he actually wrestled pretty good here. I like this. The match ends when Samoa Joe stands up out of a Steiner recliner with Scott Steiner on his shoulders, and he drops him into a stun gun over the top rope, then hits a quick rotating power slam into a pin, and the win. Uncle Dave gave it 3.25 stars, but I gave it even 3. What do you say?
I gave it 3, and I said this was probably Steiner's best match since he became Big Papa Pump.
Yeah, it's definitely up there if it's not. It's really damn good. He did mat wrestling, which I think he should have stuck to after he, got the foot problems and everything. And, I mean, do you agree with me this was better than anything he did in WWE match-wise?
Yeah, I told you, I think it's his best match ever is Big Papa Pump.
Yeah, it was really damn good.
I don't even think it's close.
I went in not expecting anything good out of this, so it blew me away. I was like, damn, I'm enjoying this.
And not to take away either, but let's not forget, it's Samoa Joe.
Oh, absolutely. But Steiner did control a lot of this match, though, and I was like, wow, he could still do it. But anyway, we go to the back now with Jeremy Borash standing by with Christian Cage. Cage cuts a pretty hilarious promo and shows how damn good he is. He said, "No champion has ever retained his title in a King of the Mountain match. If I had a dime for every time I've heard that in the last few weeks, I'd have, 51 dimes." I was like, what the hell? Cage then drops his, "because that's," and the crowd shouts out, "how I roll." Which, look, I know they did say that, but the sounds of it and how on cue it was made me think they kind of pumped that in there, but I could be wrong.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where you fall on that.
I didn't notice that, so I'm just...
Yeah, it just sounded a little, I don't know. But like I said, it could have been the crowd because they did say it along with him all the time, so... This was before he switched it, because he came in saying that's how I roll, and then eventually it's, if you don't know, now you know. And then, of course, in WWE, we get one more match, which F sucked.
That was his best run ever, dude.
Shut the F up. We're going to take our next break. When we come back, we're diving into the main event of this card. This is King of the Mountain, baby. We'll be right back after this short break.
Follow the Main Event Marks at Facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector. FANATICS offers the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and gear from all the leagues, teams, and players that you love, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, NCAA, NASCAR, soccer, and golf. They even offer esports gear for the gamers among us. You can shop by brand, sport, team, or player. And if you sign up for Fan Cash, you get exclusive weekly deals. So head on over to Fanatics.com today. Fanatics is a sponsor of the Main Event Marks and Unhinged Sports Network. The Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Now back to the show.
All right, we are back. It is time for this. It's the King of the Mountain match for the NWA World Heavyweight title. It went 23 minutes exactly. Christian Cage is defending against Jeff Jarrett, Ron the Truth Killings, Abyss, and Sting. So to run down this match a little bit, it's basically a reverse ladder match where you have to hang the title up to win. However, it can't just be that simple. In order to become eligible to hang up a title, a wrestler must score a pinfall or submission on an opponent, and then that opponent who submits or is pinned is forced to spend 2 minutes in the penalty box cage. You get all that?
Yes.
Okay. I feel like this was like 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag. Although, I don't know, I did like these matches. It was a guilty pleasure of mine.
I gave it major points for originality.
Yeah, it was original, I'll say that. It just, this was a Russo staple.
Well, what's my thing is, I can't be hypocritical. I'm always wanting something original. So when they give me it, I feel weird complaining about it. So
I guess the convoluted rules is why they agreed never to do it again after Hogan and Bischoff came in. Because Bischoff was like, if you can't explain the rules to me in, like, the old elevator pitch.
One breath.
Yeah. Well, it's the old elevator pitch. If you can't explain it, like the synopsis of it to me in an elevator ride, I don't care. So there you go. But there was a lot of brawling around ringside and throughout the crowd, which I didn't really like the brawling through the crowd with this, but it was okay.
Well, the good news is it's like the size of a closet, so you only need one camera to catch everything.
You're right. Referee Earl Hebner.
So being a producer for TNA was probably great, now that I think about it.
You could literally fall asleep at the board and be like, oh, crap. Referee Earl Hebner got knocked out by Abyss with a ladder, so he's replaced by old Slick Johnson. You know about old Slick Johnson,
Real
right?
name.
Yeah. Good grief. I didn't even think about it at first. Because they just called him Slick, and then they were like, oh, Slick Johnson. I'm like, mother of God. Like, this was an effing Russo staple because he was in WCW at the end, too, when they called him Slick Johnson. Like, duh. But then something happened.
I'm not going to lie, I didn't pick up on it until like a couple years into TNA.
Same here.
Because, to be fair, they called him Mark Slick Johnson.
Yeah.
Now, when they start calling him Slick Johnson, I got it.
And I'm like, why? Why? What? Just like, good Lord.
Real quick, Slick Johnson, where does he referee right at this period?
Is he refereeing?
No, when we're talking right now.
Oh, TNA. Yeah, good Lord.
I mean, it doesn't take a genius to see.
Well, yeah, because Russo keeps adding on to the immaturity with every... bro, there's got to be more penis references, bro.
And Johnson's a real name, and it can be like his dick, bro.
With joke about ejaculate, bro. All right, anyway, moving on quickly. But something happens with Johnson, and wouldn't you know it, Abyss sets up a stack of four tables, and then he gets put through them all by Sting, because he's got to set it up and go through. I
was going to say, who is going to go through those tables, I wonder.
Yeah. Abyss, every single time Abyss sets something up, he will go into it or through it. Every effing time. Why, Greg? Because he's a dumbass.
Yep.
He's
oddly
a stupid monster.
Oddly enough, he never got attacked by his own Janice.
He did get hit by Janice. I think it was RVD hit him with it. Remember?
I think he kicked it into him, though. I mean,
yeah. Well, yeah. So
he never really got attacked with it. But.
Well, yeah, but he did get hit with it. So there you go. There's another one. Cornette said something about, or I think it was him. He said something about. He's like, we told him to take a break because it's like, dude, what the hell else can we do to you? You've been through barbed wire and glass and everything else under the sun. And he takes a break. He comes back. First week back, he goes through a flaming frickin' table. Like, he's like, God dang it, dude, quit. And I think it was either him or Bischoff, or it wouldn't have been Bischoff. It must have been Cornette. He said, Abyss would do this stuff, and he'd come back. He's like, how did it look? It was a good. He's like, get the F out of my face. I don't even want to look at you.
That bad, huh?
Yeah. Larry Zbyszko runs out to stop Christian Cage from winning at one point. In the end, Christian Cage and Sting climb on top of the ladder, and Earl Hebner wakes up and shoves the ladder over. And then Jeff Jarrett climbs up the ladder and hangs the belt, and the crowd litters the ring with garbage. It's the Orlando Screwjob, Greg. Uncle Dave and I both gave it 3 stars. What say you?
I gave it 3 as well. Did you notice that Earl, kind of struggled to push the ladder over?
You don't say. Man that's the age of Methuselah can't push a ladder over with 2 big ass dudes on top.
I rewound it twice. I'm like, I think Christian was supposed to go out of the ring.
Probably. Do you realize that we are in June of 2006? He was the referee for the Screwjob back in November of 97. Still doing it.
Yep.
Like, what? Earl Hebner and Bret Hart relived that god-awful, stupid-ass... I'm not even going to call it an angle. It was that thing that happened. They relived it for the rest of their damn careers. I
Earl
mean,
Hebner is still alive, so, I mean, we can still see it again.
oh gosh, is it going to happen in AEW?
It's got to, right?
Please, God, no. And MJF not have Earl help him screw somebody over?
Yeah, and Football Effery 2, which will have already aired by the time this airs.
Football Field Effery 2.0. Got to hear the Cornette review of that one, man. It's going to be great.
He
Can't
called
miss
this,
podcasting.
by the way. He called it.
Who would call this?
He said it was going to happen. He goes, what it's leading to. He said that.
Why?
He said it 2 weeks before it happened.
I don't understand how or why somebody would call that, but
the fact that he called it just goes to show how pathetic it is.
Yeah, I will admit, I'm a little excited for it.
I said I liked the first one because it was fun, but now they're going to kill it.
Yeah, I feel like this one is going to be stupid only because this is the follow-up to War Games. Like
which
this
should have been the blow-off.
Yeah,
only old-fashioned.
How is War Games not the blow-off? No, the blow-off to their match at War Games is them fighting in a football field? Okay. Whatever.
My question is, not to get off on tangent here, but my question is, how are they going to do this with fans this time? Last time they had no fans.
It'll probably be the same exact thing. It's probably going to be pre-recorded and all that good stuff.
So they're going to show them on the screen like they did the first half of War Games?
Probably. Those people are buying pay-per-view tickets to see that, man.
Okay.
Just saying. But anyway, after this match, Larry Zbyszko, Earl Hebner, and Jeff Jarrett start hightailing it, but Jim Cornette is on the top of the ramp, and another referee runs out, rips the NWA title away from Jarrett, and hands it to Cornette. Cornette holds the title and wags his finger at Jarrett, yelling at him, and Jarrett drops to his knees, grabbing his head, shouting, "No! No!" And that's the end of the show. So yeah.
Let me just do a little follow-up real quick, because to show you that was all for nothing. Jeff Jarrett gets the title back. Then he has to face the winner of a Fatal 4-Way. I think it was Joe, Steiner, Christian Sting.
Wow.
Then Christian turns heel. Because why not? Yeah.
Because swerve, bro. I don't know.
Just saying, it all got stupid after this.
Yeah, after this.
Oh, I actually, not to get ahead. Well, I don't want to get ahead, but I enjoyed this pay-per-view, though.
I did. But, man, that finish, because I forgot that happened. And when it happened, I was like, you have got to be effing kidding me.
The moment I saw this on the schedule, that was the first thing that popped in my mind, if I'm being honest.
I forgot everything from the show, so that was all brand new to me, and I was like, oh, God dang it. But all right, we're going to take our final break. When we come back, we're going to dive into the final ratings of the show and what is to come in June. We'll be right back.
Follow the Main Event Marks at Facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event_Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event_Marks and at Main Event Collector. Fubo TV offers you live sports and TV without the overpriced cable. Fubo TV offers 100 channels, live and on demand, plus over 130 streaming in 4K, and a cloud DVR is included. The Fubo TV app is available on all smart devices, so you can watch what you want when you want. There are no hidden fees, and you can cancel anytime. Cut the cord and sign up for your free trial at Fubo.tv today. Fubo TV is a sponsor of the Main Event Marks and Unhinged Sports Network. Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Now back to the show.
All right, we're back. Final ratings time. Internet Movie Database gave this event 7.8 out of 10. CageMatch.net gave it 6.91 out of 10. I gave it an 8 out of 10 for a B. What say you?
I gave it a B+. I really like this pay-per-view.
I dug it. I'm not going to say it was a favorite of mine by any stretch of the imagination, but I did like it. I don't know. It was more of like just the whole feel of TNA at this time. I just really liked it. You and I bonded over TNA when we first became friends, so it holds a special place in my heart, I'll say. So, yeah. Anyway, that does it for that show. Next week, We are in June, and next week is our 1-year anniversary, man. Can you believe we've been doing this podcast for a year?
Yeah, we started this because we were bored with COVID and being locked down.
Yeah, right. I know. And now we are approaching a year. We have 50+ shows in the can, whatever.
This is 51, right?
This will be 52, what we're recording right now. Yep. So next week's episode 53. Plus, we got all the bonus episodes.
So this literally is the end of the first year.
Yes. Yep. This is our final episode for the year, or this, not the calendar year, obviously, but you know what I mean. Next week on June 9th, we are covering King of the Ring 1993, where it all began. This was the first, it wasn't the first King of the Ring ever, but it was the first King of the Ring pay-per-view ever. So,
nobody remembers the other ones.
Yeah. Oddly enough, Bret Hart had won in the 1991 King of the Ring, but that was when it was I think it was just a house show tournament at the time, something to just bring people into house shows.
Tournament, bro.
Bro, we gotta have more tournaments, bro. Strip all the titles and put them in tournaments. I have already watched the show back. It's good. It's historic. I dig it. And there's one specific moment or thing on the show, I guess, that makes it very historic because it's June of 1993 and it would be the last pay-per-view that Hulk Hogan would be in for the WWE until 2002. It's nuts to think about. I know. He would never be on another WWE pay-per-view. Well, he would never be on another WWF pay-per-view ever. He would pop back up for the WWE in February of 2002. So there's that.
I like how this is his last one, and then Hall and Nash are here.
Yeah, right.
And I'm pretty sure this is Nash's first pay-per-view.
Yes.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's his first pay-per-view. It's the show where he gets his name. He had just left WCW as Vinny Vegas, which we will talk about more next week. A lot of historic stuff going on here. Some firsts, some lasts, and some development here you'll see. And I'll tell you what, man, I became more of a fan of Bret, and I'm already a huge Bret Hart mark, but I became more of a Bret Hart mark watching this event because he puts on some clinics. So either way, we'll talk about that more next week. It's been a fun year, man. I've enjoyed what we've been doing. And for
I like that we finally covered a great one.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got some really good shows in the archives. If you guys go back throughout the past year, it's been a good, fun year. We'll talk more about more great shows coming up. This month I feel is packed with good shows. I don't see any bad ones that I booked for comedy. I take that back. There's one show I booked for comedy. Great American Bash 2000. But other than that, the rest of them, I booked them not because I was like, we can laugh at this. But we'll talk about that more in the coming weeks. Real quick, one last time, we are sponsored by Fubo TV and Fanatics. Click on the links down in the podcast description. And if you are not listening to us on the Unhinged Sports Network, we are live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And the replay is right after, an hour and a half after that. I thank you for joining me today again, Greg.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a fun year. Looking forward to year 2 of the podcast. We'll see you next week with the King of the Ring, 1993.